Controversial businessman Fana Hlongwane has vehemently denied that the Gupta family offered the post of finance minister to Deputy Minister Tshepo. A national daily newspaper reports today that it is in possession of a leaked letter to the public protector in which Hlongwane is disputing the matter. Hlongwane apparently confirms that a meeting between Deputy Finance Minister Tshepo and President Zuma's son Duduzane Zuma did take place. He, however, disputes that any offer was made to the Deputy Minister. The Citizen reports that in the letter, Hlongwane undertakes to give an accurate and truthful version of events. The letter was apparently sent to the Public Protector's office on the 30th of September. In the letter, Fana Hlongwane reportedly writes, and I quote, categorically deny there was ever a discussion or offer by anybody of any governmental position to Deputy Finance Minister Jonas, close quote. And now we are joined by political analyst Tshepo Kgadima. A very good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us here at 8 and 7 Morning Prime. Now, a new version of the Gupta's alleged offer to Deputy Finance Minister Jonas emerged today. Now, this version differs from the one put out by the Sunday Times and the City Press, and the Gupta family has now denied the offer took place. What is at play here?
It's important to note that the Gupta family and whoever constitutes the Gupta family have categorically denied having made an offer to the now Deputy Minister of Finance, Mr. Jonas, for the position of Finance Minister. But they're not denying or that any one of them have ever met with Mr. Jonas. Now, what that tells us is that that denial that there was ever an offer made, as asserted by Mr. Jonas, it clearly says that the current probe by the public protector certainly requires that there must be viva voce evidence by all those parties that are implicated in having had made such an offer or having been in such a meeting, and to ensure that all the facts are uncovered, to ensure that the investigation can be proper and really help the nation to understand what happened at that meeting. But yes, it is important to note that they deny having made the offer, but are not denying that any one of the members of the family ever met with Mr. Jonas. What is interesting, however, for me, is that the letter that Mr. Fana Hlongwane has written to the public protector in assisting or in an attempt to assist the public protector in the investigation, once again, it gives us a different version to what has previously been reported. And that clearly means that the most natural thing that the public protector must do to ensure that nobody's rights are prejudiced is to actually subpoena or call upon all of them, as I say, to come and give viva voce evidence.
And now all of the various published versions lack detail and are contradictory. What will the public protector need to do to ensure her report is credible?
Well, the public protector as an institution, to make sure that the report is credible, the investigation has to be thorough. It has to be done in terms of the letter of the law. And one of the core principles in the letter of the law, particularly the Public Protector Act, is to act without fear, favor, or prejudice. So it is important that the Public Protector, as an institution, and not as Advocate Thuli Madonsela, who is a natural person and individual, but the institution itself needs to be seen to have acted in that regard, without fear, favor, or prejudice. And that means, therefore, that as the allegations are being investigated, in order to do justice to the investigation, there needs to be an ingredient of time. And clearly, I cannot see that this investigation in its current form will actually yield results. If anything, I see it as a witch hunt on the basis that the public protector, by her own account, she said that the budget for this investigation would be 3 million rand. and pleaded that there were no funds. The budget did not allow that 3 million rand could be expended on this investigation to ensure that it is proper and that it uncovers all the facts. And also what has happened is that the public protector further went on, and while National Treasury entertained the request, is also a mystery. That's something that needs to be looked into detail. That the public protector then approached National Treasury for funds. But even more worrying is that the National Treasury did not provide the funds for the investigation in the amount of 3 million rand. The National Treasury only gave a promissory note to the public protector for the amount of 1.5 million rand. So we start with an investigation that is not fully funded, that in fact hasn't got even 1 rand. And now for the public protector to not have gone to Parliament, where the budget for the public protector is appropriated, to have done this something that is not within the normal procedures and processes of going directly to National Treasury, is a new chapter in our democracy, and it's something that for me is very worrying. But the fact that there were not enough funds for this investigation, it should not have carried through. And if at all the investigation was started, it clearly tells us that this is an investigation that, if thoroughly conducted, cannot and could not be completed before Advocate Thuli Madonsela's term of office comes to an end. And therefore there is going to be unprecedented prejudice to the affected parties if the public protector attempts, and Advocate Thuli Madonsela in this case, attempts to release any form of report, because clearly most of the witnesses, it would appear that they have not yet been subpoenaed, they have not yet appeared before them, and there has been no cross-examination of witnesses, and also the funds are not there. It clearly is not possible. There is prejudice, and that prejudice is clearly unlawful as required in terms of that the public protector must act without fear, favor, or prejudice.
Now, it is also alleged in the letter that Jonas and the Guptas are involved in factionalism within the ANC. How is this complicating the situation?
The ANC is in a very difficult position. It has just come out of the National Executive Committee meeting. One of the things that I've been completely surprised that it seems to not have been addressed during the National Executive Committee meeting is this very same investigation, in that ordinarily one would have expected that they should have dealt with it and addressed the issues that I raised, that there's an investigation that is not funded at all from day one, that funds have been shifted from other much more worthy investigations that were have been in the pipeline for a longer time, and therefore causing prejudice to the complainants. They have not addressed those issues. The issue of the public protector approaching National Treasury directly against the rules of having to have the budget appropriated by Parliament, that again was not addressed. So it tells you that within the African National Congress and within the National Executive Committee of the National Congress, there seems to be this paralysis, and really by question of that, people seem to be scared that they will be accused of taking one side of another faction and the other. And clearly this is an issue that they should have addressed. They didn't address it. So the letter, as I read it from Mr. Fana Hlongwane to the public protector, urging that the public protector needs to operate above factionalism and party politics. For me, that is a message that I concur with, that the public protector's integrity will only be preserved if the public protector operates without favor of any one faction, not just within the African National Congress, but outside of the African National Congress. More so, as I mentioned, that the Democratic Alliance, who are a complainant, they themselves, their complaint, clearly from what has been reduced, is motivated by nothing other than politics. And that should not be allowed for that office of the public protector to be used in politics.
Thank you very much. And that was political analyst Tshepo Kgadima, as Fana Hlongwane made a sensational claim about Mcebisi Jonas, and we will be finding out later on throughout the week if Jonas's claim was true or not.